start before you're ready. Because we could wait for the best time, the best opportunity, the best surroundings, best everything. But we don't know when that will come. And start before you're ready. Start it today. Welcome to Episode 1. And it's always good to wake up in the morning and give thanks and praises to our Heavenly Father, who is able to bless us again with another day with the breath of life. Usually you would, before you start anything, you would have made decisions on certain things, and as I start this first podcast, I'm still in decision about what I'm actually going to call it. But throughout the week, been listening to those who have made it, so to speak, or who are further along in their journey. There's one thing that is repeated again and again, and that's start before you're ready. Because we could wait for the best time, the best opportunity, the best surroundings, the best everything. We could wait for the best everything before we start, but we don't know when that will come. And so the advice, start before you're ready. And so I've started today. I have two names, two titles that I want to call this. The first is Morning Brain Dump podcast, where I wake up in the morning and first thing that's on my mind, that's what I'm going to speak about. And the other name is No Filter Commute. So again, whatever's on my mind, I'm going to talk about it. The first name, the Morning Brain Dump. Maybe you can help me, even though you can't see me. There's the idea of morning brain dump here. There's the idea of, for me personally, is to be able to dump whatever it is on my mind in the morning while it's fresh on my mind, but I also don't want it to be limited to just the morning. And to be honest, I could do it any other time, but if it's named morning brain dump, would it matter if it's not? If I'm not dumping what's on my mind in the morning, you can let me know. And the idea on the second one is there's no time frame to it. I could do it any time, and as it would be like the first one, no filter. Whatever's on my mind, that's what you will get. So let me know in the comments section if what would you like? What would you prefer this podcast to be called? One, morning brain dump podcast, or two, the no filter commute podcast. There's a tagline for each as well, and because I was only looking into it last night, I don't know it, but I'll put it in the comments and see. Yeah, let me know what you think. And before I get into today's topic, please like, subscribe, and if you think this would be beneficial to anyone you know, please share. So my topic for this morning that's come to mind is service, the serving of others, serving of someone, serving of God, serving to be of service to someone other than yourself. Thinking about it now, could you be of service to yourself? Maybe you could, because if you help yourself in a way to benefit from whatever your service is, then maybe there is service. But the service that's on my mind this morning is the serving of others, and in particular, because this topic was talked about this week, it is by way of communion, and the part that I want to take is the service part, in which the washing of the feet is in place. And if you're not familiar with the washing of the feet, in our church group, water would be put into a bucket, and at a particular time during the washing of the feet ceremony, you would partner up with, if there was someone you didn't have any, if there was someone you didn't like, or someone you had some beef with, or someone that's you needed to right some wrongs with, this is the person you would get. Not compulsory, but advised to, and or you would just find a partner of the same sex, because the men is separated from the women, And the women would wash the women's feet and the men would wash the men's feet. So you would take this bucket of water and the partner, they would sit down, then you'd place 1 foot into the bucket, and I would proceed to wash his foot in the water. Take it out, dry it, then wash his other foot. Take it out, dry it, and then we would swap. He would wash mine. And this is all to symbolize humbleness, humility, the art of asking for forgiveness without asking for forgiveness, the art of love, empathy, compassion. Because when you think about it, what other way I'm sure there's more other ways, but what other way could you ask of the one that you have a disagreement or an ill manner toward than to go and wash his feet? So this part in the word in the Bible, Jesus enters the room and the disciples are talking amongst themselves to see who of them is the greatest, who amongst them, the 12 disciples, is the best, is the one. And Jesus doesn't say a thing, and with action, he starts to wash the disciples' feet. And I thought this to be quite an example, because here Jesus is the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, who has humbled himself to take form of man, who humbles himself again to take form on the cross by way of crucifixion. And so here he is, reading the Bible and the story. We all know that Jesus is the man, he's the one. But he's taken it upon himself to lead by example and go and wash the feet of those that are looking to be the best, that are looking for recognition, let's say. Looking for recognition. Maybe they've done a good work. Maybe they've done miraculous works. Maybe they've done things that no one else could do. Each to their own, according to their own thoughts and mind, that because they've done a thing, now they're trying to compare it to each other's good thing. Hence why they're asking, trying to find out who among them is the one, the best, the one who should lead. Because they all knew that Jesus was on his way to being crucified. So service. And I bring this up because I never knew the importance. I knew. Let's just say I was reminded again the importance of service, the serving of others, and the serving of your brothers and sisters, the serving of your enemy, service. I don't know why this service part was impressioned upon me this week, but looking at service and then attending a birthday for a well-respected man, head elder of the church, and the testimonies of those that day, and it showed that, man, throughout his life, the one thing that stood out for me was his dedication to service, his dedication for others, his dedication to people of all walks of life. Because there was testimonies from this man, 70, but there were testimonies for this man ranging from just 30s, and the oldest I think was in his 80s, yet he had good relationships with age groups within that age group, and I'm sure the relationship he has would extend even outside of those age groups, because he had children who had children, and so his grandchildren were there, and there's a relationship there as well. So there would be a dedication to that relationship. And so in the service that he was able to dedicate to others, because of the service he was able to dedicate to others, others spoke highly of him. Others spoke of the actions, due to the actions of his service. There were results that you can't get any other way other than through service. And it made me think about, it reminded me about service in the Bible, and when I went to go look it up and see what service actions there were in the Bible, it took me to communion and the washing of the feet. I say all of this because the example of the head elder and the example of Jesus, in those examples, the dedication of the service was not dictated by the actions of others. The dedication of the service, the action of the service, was not dictated by the action of others. Because I might be the only one. But sometimes if you have an attitude with me, I might tilt my head, I might give you a side eye, I might have a thought, and in this moment, many a time it dictates my action, because now I feel a certain way. And yeah, truth be told, it happens. You know, my service at home, my service in church, my service at work, wherever I go. What you do might affect what I do. And these are good examples of the head elder and Jesus, where I should be looking at it as what you do doesn't affect what I do. What you do shouldn't affect what I do. If you do good to me, I will do good to you. And if you do bad to me, I should still do good to you. Now, it might be easier said than done, because let's face it, I'm human. I have many flaws. I have many ideas. Some good, some not good. But it shows the dedication to one's service to others shouldn't be dictated by others, and you shouldn't waver on the good thing that you should do when no one's looking. You should uphold your integrity in the service that you give, doing the right thing all the time, every time, whether someone's looking or not. And so, even at this ripe old age of 46, I'm still learning. And I'm still being reminded that through service, through the service of others, one, humble yourself. So I need to humble myself. Two, don't let the actions of others dictate your actions towards them. Show them peace, show them love, show them mercy. But whatever you do, show them service. No. Um, I a thought just came that even in my parents, my grandparents, their service was so much so that when I remember the testimonies that were spoken of at their funerals, I remember one testimony about my grandpa, who, rest in peace, my grandpa, people would say, even with his last, when I say people, his children, even with his last, whatever thing he had left to give, even if it was his last thing, last piece of food, last anything, he would always seek to give it to someone who was in more of a need. And this was testified by his children. Their grandpa would, by way of service, give away his last thing. Not because it was the leftovers, but give away whatever he had last to someone who was in more of a need. And it's just crossed my mind that, you know, the woman that washed Jesus' feet with the essence of perfume, and she went and bought it with the last of her money to put into action the washing of his feet. She went and gave it all in order to give service. Wow. Then I remember testimony of my mum. You know, we had our neighbors, and growing up, our neighbors would always come knocking asking for sugar or salt or whatever. And as a young person, I would question, why are they always coming over to ask for? And my mum would tell me to be quiet, and sometimes in not so friendly words, but and then other times they haven't even come to ask, but I was sent over to give them something. Why do I have to give as a young person? And I see the result of the actions of one, grandfather, and two, mum, that seems to be an ongoing cycle, positive ongoing cycle of the act of service. So I encourage you I encourage myself. If ever you get an opportunity to serve someone other than you, serve someone other than the one you like, because that's the test, eh? When you serve someone that you don't like, or serve someone that you have an issue with, that's the test. And so if you have the opportunity to serve with everything you have, serve with all of your might, serve with all of your heart, serve. You may not see the rewards or reap the rewards now, but it's coming. It's coming. And there is leadership and service. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you feel that someone else can benefit from this sharing, from this podcast, that parking's a bit too. What happens when you don't have a side mirror? But yeah, like, subscribe, share with someone that you think will benefit from this, and don't forget to check the comments for which title you would prefer this to be called, and I'll put the taglines in there as well for each of the names. Have a blessed day, and may God bless you throughout your service today and for the days to come.